Jacob, where have you seen yourself get better than where you were a year ago?
Yeah, I would just say, obviously last year I felt like I was playing pretty good football, and then the injury happened and just gave me another year to grow mentally. And then through the rehab process, I was focusing on a lot of mechanic things. Through my first surgery when I was at Minnesota, I kind of lost some of the technique I needed to be a good quarterback. So through this rehab process, I had a lot of focus on tightening up my mechanics and staying sharp. And I think through that process, it made me throw the ball better because I was so focused on it in the off season. So I would say those two things.
So what are you doing, working on footwork while you have your arms in a sling, or just kind of how's that look?
Yeah, working on footwork and stuff, but then also when I start to throw again through that process, it's making sure I'm not doing anything that's going to affect how I throw the ball just to be able to throw the ball, if that makes any sense. Through that first rehab process, it was, I just want to throw the ball further. So I do a lot of stuff with my lower body that is inefficient. And then when I was healthy, I wasn't throwing it as well as I could. So this process, it was really staying locked in with just staying tight with where my release is at and all those different things. And then when I got back healthy, I was throwing the ball even better.
You reflected at all, like, hey, I'm going to play in week 5 this year?
Yeah, it's cool. Being able to play a team like Youngstown that I didn't get to play last year is exciting, and just being able to see, like, all right, I'm healthy, able to get through 4 games, didn't get through all that last year, and feeling really good.
Jacob, could you talk a little bit about your relationship with Hunter? We had him in here last week, and he spoke quite a bit about the relationship that you guys have built and how well that translates onto the football field.
Yeah, he's one of my really good friends. Obviously was in his wedding over the off season, and we've gotten a lot closer the last, I'd say, year and a half. Really good friend, really good football player. He's a good person to have in the locker room, and will be a lifelong friend of mine.
Caden, obviously we saw you in high school. It's different going up against Nevada and Springfield Catholic. You come here, you're doing it against UT Martin D1, running guys over and getting 2 sacks and forced fumbles. How have you made the transition so seamlessly from the high school level to the D1 level?
As everyone knew, I got injured last year, so I had a lot of time to mentally prepare, and then also physically as well. I got a lot stronger over last season coming back from those injuries. So I think I just was able to find ways to just up my game from high school and just be more prepared for the.
Did you hear from a lot of people back in Reed Spring after the game?
Yeah, my phone was blown up a little bit after the game from old friends, coaches, family, everything. It was awesome.
How satisfying was it to get your first and your second sack like that?
It felt really good. It took me a minute for it to all settle in because I haven't played football since state before this season. So, it felt really good to finally make an impact.
How was that year off? I just knowing you play basketball, you play football, it's your life, competitor. Just how was that year off, being away from it?
It was pretty aggravating not being able to compete. Had a lot of restraints from my foot and wrist, but I managed to find ways around it.
What was that Thursday? Just breaking the foot? Was it breaking the foot going into that start you were going to have? Or?
Yeah, I came back from my wrist for North Dakota State, and the perfect Thursday before the game, I just took an awkward step and went on the outside of it, and it just broke.
Just mentally trying to get past that. It's we saw the wrist injury. It was bad enough to keep you out when people play with that. We just can sometimes play with just a club, but just mentally, how was that on you, and how long did it take for you to get over that?
The wrist I was able to get through because I could still do a lot, but when this one happened, it took me a little bit. I was pretty frustrated for quite a while, but I talked to a lot of good people. A lot of good people reached out and kept me in check and pretty much told me to get over myself. There's still a lot going on, so I found things to keep myself busy.
Jacob, the percentages that you have completed over the last couple of weeks have been eye-popping. One of them's the best in program history. In the middle of the game, do you realize whether or not you've had 1 incomplete pass, 2 incomplete passes, or is it like a pitcher, it's not really something you think about?
Yeah, it's not really something I think about. I think if I have too many incompletions, then that's something that you kind of start to think about of just, all right, how can I start to be more efficient and move the ball down the field? But when I'm completing the ball, it kind of just feels like I'm executing the play and doing my job. So it's not really something that I know I'm like 10 for 10 or anything like that.
Jacob, that big third down there to seal the game, right, with just over 2 minutes left. when you threw that pass out to Lance and he caught it and you saw the defender come and just miss his leg and he's trying to catch his balance, were you thinking, please God, stay up, stay up? What were you thinking at that point?
Yeah, I have a lot of trust in Lance. He's a really good football player. When I got it out there, I kind of saw there was a defender coming, but knew that I think he only needed to get like 6 or 7 yards. So I was just hoping he could stay up and then maybe dive and get the first down. And then when I saw him still run down the sideline, I was like, oh, all right, here we go. That's awesome.
And can you kind of talk about maybe the progression you've seen from guys like Hunter Wood and Devontae Key? I mean, right there before half, you guys went, what, like 90 yards in 50 seconds or less? How big was that for momentum for you guys to go in the locker room and, as Coach said, have some senior leader conversations to get ready for that second half?
Yeah, those two guys specifically, like when I first got here, we were kind of running with the twos. So we've played a lot of football together. So I have a lot of trust in them. They have a lot of trust in me. And they've done a really good job stepping up. Last year, they were pivotal parts of this team, and then this year they have to do even more. And they've done a really good job.
Can both of you guys just talk about being in the Valley Conference kind of last spin through, but you mentioned didn't get to play against Youngstown last year, you get here, and then you two just missing all those games, but being able to play now in this conference, which is arguably one of the best conferences in FCS.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for all the teams in the Valley. Like Coach Beard said, there's not really any games where it's going to be a cakewalk, and for us, we have to go in and really prepare really hard for this first one, and it can kind of set the tone for how the rest of the Valley is going to go. A lot of respect for Youngstown. It's going to be a really good game.
You get mad when you have to spike the ball? Because, I mean, that hurts the completion percentage. It's just like call a play there instead, right?
No, it's all right. It's just part of the game.
Jacob, that touchdown pass to Connor, I mean, how cool is it to be part of that moment?
Yeah, it was awesome. It honestly wasn't really even, when the play call came in, it wasn't really something I was thinking about. And we've repped that play and similar plays where he's out there in the flat to catch the ball. And when I threw it and he caught it, and he scored, and I was running up to him, that's when it all started to kind of click in my mind about how awesome of a story and full circle moment that was.
When you say in the locker room, Coach said there was something there.
I just gave him a shout out. Me and Connor are pretty close, and last year when we were at UT Martin, I knew what was going on, and just wanted to give him a shout out, just the type of person he is, and for him to be able to overcome that and then to be able to score at UT Martin was, I mean, it gives me chills just thinking about it.
Caden, the 2 fumbles that you forced and that y'all recovered, right, turned into 14 points. Those are plays last year that this team didn't make, right, and why they fell short of a winning record and better. This year you guys have almost made some plays in the first 2, and you're making plays in these 2. Is that a progression in your mind of where this team is heading?
Oh, 100%. I think a big part of it is just the mentality everyone has. We go into games now expecting to be able to dominate the line in front of us, and I feel like last year people were just trying to hang on, and now we're trying to actually physically beat people up front.
Why is that? What has changed about you guys, as I asked earlier for Coach? How do you guys ride that line of playing loose and confident, but not allowing yourself to go, yeah, we're going to dominate them, and then get punched in the mouth?
I think it's just the talk around film room, locker room, everything. I mean, Coach Scott, our position coach, he keeps us pretty level-headed, and I mean, we have pretty confident players on our D-line, but at the same time, we all know that it's going to be a battle each and every week.
Have y'all ever gone up against Coach Scott in practice?
We've never gone up against him before, no. I mean, everyone butts heads every now and then, but at the end of the day, we're just trying to get each other better.
Okay, I just wondered, because he's an awfully big man, so I wondered, he's like, get over, let me show you do this.
No, I'm sure he wants to, though.
Jacob, how close is the run game to coming together? It seems like you guys have everything there in the offense, just trying to get that going. How close do you think that is?
Yeah, I would say it's close. I'd say going back and watching the film, there's certain things. Obviously, we would have liked to be able to run the ball better, but when you watch the film, again, it's things we could have done better. It's not that they're just physically dominating us up front. It's just little things, whether it's just one key block that would have made the play go further, or whether it's hitting the hole correctly, or just it's certain assignment things. So I would say it's close to coming together. It's really good to have Christian and Big E back, and they're going to continue to get more confidence as they start to feel healthier and get more reps. So I think we're close.
Jacob, have you always felt in big pressure moments, have you ever felt any major nerves, or do you just let what you've done in practice and rehearse guide you through those steps to say, hey, stay calm and let's just throw it?
Yeah, obviously I've been in college football for a long time. I feel like I've been prepared for some of these moments for the last couple of years. Got to show it a little bit last year, but I really just rely on my preparation, how much work I've put in. I wouldn't say I get a whole lot of nerves while I'm out there. It's just thinking back to everything I've learned since I've been in college and then how much I prepare, I'm ready for the moment.